Meet Herbert and Patty.
Hi.
They met in their clothing physiology class during college, and they hit it off real well. They eloped over spring break in Las Vegas, and they have lived happily ever after, together for 10 years. Since college, their favorite activities include eating and watching movies on the couch. Unfortunately, the only exercise they get is fighting over who has to get up to get the remote or answer the door to get the next round of pizza. While Herb was watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey, he suddenly realized that today was February 14th.
What the deuce?
And he hadn't bought anything to give his wife. He knew how much those giant chocolate hearts meant to his wife, Patty.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
So Herbert, being the good husband, springs into action, and he runs to the store to get his wife a Godiva chocolate heart. But Herbert is barely out the door before he's on the ground panting and complaining of itchiness and cramps.
A little service here!
Is what Herbert feels legitimate, or does he need to toughen up?
How dare you! And I've gone and soiled myself. I say, am I to spend the entire day wallowing around in my own feces?
When people start exercising after a long period of inactivity, they often complain of cramps, muscle soreness, and itchy skin. But what causes these symptoms? When people run, the body has an increased need for oxygen for muscle use.
Look how vascular I am. If there's one thing women love, it's a vascular man. I've got veins that carry blood all over my body.
However, if a person, like Herbert, hasn't exercised in a while, the muscles atrophy, meaning to get smaller. To do the same amount of work, the muscles need to work harder and demand more oxygen. Heart rate begins to increase and blood flow also increases. The body redirects blood from the non-essential functions such as digestion to the muscles. The cramping people feel when they begin to exercise is the non-essential functions trying to squeeze out the blood so the muscles can get oxygen. The capillaries need to expand because of the demand for more oxygen, but when the person is inactive for a while, months and years, and switch to rigorous exercise, the blood vessels collapse, causing the adjacent nerves to send impulses to the brain. Nerve receptors are located in the skin, and they detect vibrations, pressure, touch, heat, and pain.
Don't you look at me!
The nerve receptors for pain are called nociceptors, and they act as alarms. When a nociceptor in the skin is triggered, it sends an iconic signal through the axon of the nerve cell. The signal activates the synapse to fire and transmit chemical signals across the synapse to the next nerve cell, and continues all the way to the spinal cord and then the brain. When the receptor is activated, the brain receives an alert signal, causing a reaction to adjust the activity to protect all of the other systems. Scratching the itch reduces the firing of the signals that cause the itchiness. The nociceptors are also in the muscles, bladder, gut, and joints. So some of the pain felt during cramps are signals received from the nociceptors. What about soreness? The muscles convert glucose to ATP for energy. Only about 10 seconds of energy is stored in the muscles, and after that, the body switches to anaerobic ATP conversion until oxygen is present. However, without training, the body becomes inefficient at delivering oxygen. Lactic acid builds up in the muscles, which makes them feel sore. As a person pushes their body past what they are used to doing, small tears develop in the muscles, which leads to soreness a couple of days later as the muscles start to repair.
Will you look at me? I have the power!
That's a nice muscly throwing arm you got there.
Go away, you perverted old freak.
Oh, don't make me beg now.
I'm gonna go work out. I'm not satisfied until every vein is forced up against my skin.
So, Herbert walks/jogs to get his candy heart so that he is doing aerobic exercise. Herbert starts losing weight and is able to dance all night without itching and cramping and soreness.
I can be sexy.
His wife Patty is so inspired that she starts working out and dancing as well. What a feeling! She becomes so good at dancing that she becomes a backup dancer for Miley Cyrus. I came in like a rainbow. Sadly, her career ended as she tried to swing on a wrecking ball and broke her leg. Well, that's all for now, and now you know what happens when sedentary people start to move and become active.